Thank you so much for clicking this video. My name is Chesiyna and you are welcome. So today I will be talking about how to be a confident Christian woman. And the reason why I titled my video this way is because most of my points really rely on a biblical perspective, but I go ahead and also tie other points that are tied to self-development and a professional point of view. So you are welcome to listen to the entire video, because I believe that even if you're not a Christian, I feel as if you can benefit a lot from some of the points that I will mention. Now, one thing that I would like to mention is that I see confidence as a blend of spiritual, mental, physical, and health confidence. So there are many things that come together that make someone confident. Now, one thing that I will also mention is that when it comes to church folk or just Christians in general, sometimes you can find that they have a lot of confidence within the confines of the church, but outside, people might not be as confident. So with this video, I aim to give you the tools so that you can have a wrap around confidence. So I'm really excited for you to watch this because in the past, actually, I was not considered a confident person. I don't think anyone would come to me back in the day when I was in primary school or secondary school. People would have not come to me. I think they would pass me as far as confidence. Yeah, so just a bit of a background. I was never in any drama club. I was in mathematics club. So that gives you an idea of, how I was. I was just someone who was in her books. I was very timid. I was very shy. But recently, I've got so many people, especially younger Christian women, reaching out to me. And in particular, I think one reached out to me a few months ago, an immigrant, and she asked me, "Hey, Heather, you are so confident. Please tell me how I can be as confident as you." And I just giggled because I was like, wow, it's been a journey. So even when I give you these points, I'm not, speaking out of, thin air. I'm actually speaking from experience as someone who has grown to be extremely confident. And hopefully with the tools that I give you, it will help you to be more confident in also going to the marketplace and ministering to people, or, just holding your own. So I think this will be a very, very lovely video. So stay tuned, get a cup of tea, relax, as I always say. And if you are ready, let's begin. Okay, so my first point is, if this was the only point that I give you, you would be fine. So here it goes. Your identity has to be rooted in Christ. I repeat, your identity has to be rooted in Christ. So what does that mean? It means that you have to look at the biblical truth and ask yourself, what does Christ say of me? Not what the world says, but what Christ says of me. So what that means is that you have to get into the Word and see, what does it say? I am beautifully and I'm wonderfully made. You have to go and read and also look for Bible characters if you need, so that you can be able to be confident. The reason why I say this is, in the world you can get different identities, or people can try to impose different identities of you. If you are a mom, if you are a student, and you can just imagine and maybe fill in the blank for your situation and think of all the identities that people can give you. The problem with that is, if you do get a negative identity that is put on you, a label, stamped, what will happen? You'll feel downcast. And if you're relying on what people say of you, guess what? I'm even about to swallow my words, but But yeah, if you rely on what people say of you, it's not going to be very productive. Another thing is assume that you are in a season where people are saying good things about you. You're getting really good feedback and you're like, yay, okay, people are saying I'm good. But what if the next season people think, oh yeah, she ain't it? What will happen? Like, it'll be kind of like a yo-yo effect, like you're up and down. But if you maintain your confidence in Christ, what will happen is that you'll maintain your confidence and hopefully you'll be able to elevate it. And this is one of the steps that you have to take in order to be a confident Christian woman. Your identity has to be rooted in Christ. The next thing you need to ensure is that you're surrounding yourself with positive people. Positive people will act as confidence builders or confidence boosters. So what will happen is that they'll really encourage you and actually tell you, hey, you're doing a great job. And then also they will offer you constructive criticism. That means that they will not lie to you. They'll actually offer you constructive criticism and tell you, hey, over here you kind of messed up, but guess what? What are the action steps for you to move forward? And I know that words are so powerful. Because of my background in clinical behavioral health, what I can tell you is that negative inside voices sometimes actually start as negative outside voices. So what people say to you. And also Maya Angelou, throughout her life, she also stated that she is very sensitive about the people she surrounds herself with, because she says that words will go on the walls, it goes on the pots and the pans, and eventually it'll get inside you. That's why you have to be very careful about the people you surround yourself with. So just take that to heart. And another thing is do a friendship audit. One of my clinical supervisors told me about this a while back and I laughed and I was like, oh my goodness, this sounds this sounds funny. But if you think about it, I think it's really important. Think of a friendship audit as a two-way street. Ask yourself, hey, is there a friend who I really enjoyed last year and maybe I want to spend more time with? Or are there friends who I was neglecting? Or are there friends who I've been around and I feel as if I'm always in a funk? That's what you need to do. If you are at a point where you feel as if you do not have healthy, productive friendships or relationships around you, do an audit and maintain the people and bring the people who are very good closer to you. Yeah, so that's my next point. Another thing is that you have to get out of your comfort zone and surround yourself and expose yourself to different things, to different places, to different people, and to different cultures. I remember when I immigrated to the United States, I was so afraid of interacting with people who were different from me. I really feared small talk because I know that in some circles here in America, small talk is a big thing. So most of the time I did not have a reference point to actually start or initiate a conversation. So what happened is I got out of my comfort zone and I started experiencing different cultures and also, you know, trying to get to know different people. They could be your neighbors, it could be maybe the mailman, it could be the bus driver, it could be anyone who's around you. But the key is that it has to be organic. If you are very keen, what will happen is that people will send you cues and probably invite you to certain things. For me, in particular, like over the years, I've said yes to so many experiences, and in one particular experience was I was invited to an Orthodox Jewish wedding, and oh my goodness, it was one of those experiences that was fantastic. I got to experience so many things that up till now, if I meet someone who has Jewish heritage or Jewish background, most of the time I will have at least a couple of things if they are speaking about something that is relevant to what I experienced and what I saw. And also it's a two-way street, because if people hang around me long enough, guess what? I will invite you to a Kenyan event or I will invite you to Kenyan cuisines. And I have seen other people who they experience Kenyan tea, maybe I give them Kenyan coffee, and it's always a conversation starter when they meet the next Kenyan. And they're like, oh my goodness, your tea is fantastic. If you have never been out of the country, please try to get a passport and get out of the country and experience some, a different place. So for example, if you're in the United States, try to go somewhere. It could be neighboring, maybe it could be neighboring countries, or you could just take a cruise. But I think it's very important, at least one time in your life, try to get outside of the box. Because for me, my confidence was really boosted when I came to the United States, because I got out of my comfort zone, I got out of my shell, and I was able to gather so many experiences that I can start a conversation with anyone right now. So that's my next point. You also have to keep in mind that it's important to say yes to opportunities. In the past, I was someone who was always, even before you ask me, nope, because I was just shy and I didn't want to take up spontaneous, invites. But over the years, I've just been that kind of girl who's like, okay, I will try to say yes more often than not. And I remember there was a time one of my colleagues was supposed to do a big speech at research hospital, and he was trained in doing this. So I think it was a crowd of, I don't know if it was like 300 people, and for some reason he was unable to attend, and I was asked, hey, do you want to go? And I was like, initially I said no, but I was like, you know what, let me just say yes and go. And I went there, I made my speech, and from there it set me down the path of just public speaking. And right now I'm not afraid of public speaking. So that one yes opened so many doors for me to be able to actually, be more confident and say, oh yeah, I've spoken in front of 300 people before. Was it planned? No. Was I scared? Yes. But I still took the opportunity, and it kind of like just really set the tone for, me to be okay with public speaking. Another thing you can do is join Toastmasters or any public speaking clubs. I signed up for Toastmasters a couple of years ago. And with Toastmasters, you have to Google it just to find out what exactly it is, but they have chapters all over the US, and I think they also have chapters outside of the country. So you can just put in your zip code and find out what days that they meet. And the membership is pretty low. I think the annual fee is really low. And if you have a job that offers like career development, they can actually pay that for you, the membership, because that's what happened to me. My previous employer did pay for my membership, and I went through it. And what happens is with Toastmasters, you do have friendly people who are able to critique your speeches, and also it teaches you how to spontaneously speak. Like for me, I don't know if you have noticed, but my YouTube videos, I do them spontaneously. I do not plan for them. I may just have like 4 bullet points of things that I want to speak on, and that's it. I also do minimal editing because I want to be as raw and relatable as possible. But I think it's important, guys, for you to just go to Toastmasters and or any other public speaking event club. It doesn't have to be Toastmasters, because I think I don't want to mention them because maybe I don't know if they still do it. Practice really improves your confidence in such things. Another thing is, of course, self-care and dressing for success. If you show up to a function when you're dressed in a shabby way, you will not be as confident. At least for me, I want to at least be decent and also appropriately dressed. Of course, you don't want to show up in you don't want to show up in a dinner dressed up in jeans. You actually need to know the dress code. Try your best to know, hey, what should I do, or what staple pieces do I need to actually look good. Like for me, my closet, I don't have a big closet honestly, but I just have a few staple pieces that carries me through. So just try to find your style, and maybe you can look on YouTube. I think there's one lady on YouTube who does videos. I'll try to find her name if I can. If I don't find it, I'm sorry, you'll have to find somebody else. But yeah, just find your style and just run with it. My other tip is for you to find an elevator speech. I remember in one of my jobs, they required us to have an elevator speech so that you could be ready at any point if you were to run into an investor or maybe a parent. So it was something that initially I was like, why do we have to have an elevator speech and we're not in the C-suite or the executive suite? But after much thinking about it, I feel as if with elevator speech, you can actually implement it to any position and anything that you're doing. If someone was to ask me, oh, what are you doing right now with your life? I probably need to think of one or two things. Okay, right now I'm really confident. I don't need it as much. But if you're someone who is really scared, just go ahead and just have a high level, few points where you can be able to be like bam, bam, bam. This is especially important when you're networking and first impressions really do matter. Please go ahead and just get an index card and practice in front of the mirror and just think of, hey, this is what this is what I would I would say if I was to run into someone. Of course, if you do an elevator speech, please ensure that you do not sound robotic, because that's a danger. If you're so scared, you'll sound like a robot. But yeah, just have an elevator speech and getting your feet wet and getting acquainted with someone, especially if you are scared. So my last point is affirmations. Biblical affirmations are super, super important. I have affirmations stuck to my bathroom mirror. So every time when I wake up in the morning, I say the affirmation and the corresponding verse. If you want to get an idea of biblical affirmations, I actually have a very detailed post about how you can tailor make your affirmations, and I will link it in the description box. This is extremely important and something that you need to do every time you wake up early in the morning. And that should be it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I think with all the information that I've given you, it will give you a wraparound just idea of what it takes to be a confident Christian woman. And paired with all the things that I've told you, honestly, you'll be able to go forth into the marketplace or into your purpose, and yeah, you'll be very confident. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. I will see you on the next one.